Welcome back to Stanford Cardinal football, where today we host Washington State in the return of Pac-12 football. And for us, there is a lot on the lines as we have dropped our last two games against the FCS Southeast Pandas and the San Jose State Spartans. Additionally, we also are hosting a visit for one of our top recruits, Lamont East, the man-to-man corner out of Cal, who currently is favoring Oregon. We could jump back on top with a good visit. And to help us try to do just that, the redshirt freshman quarterback Elijah Brown is getting the start. He's got the strongest arm on the team. Accuracy is a little bit all over the place, but hopefully, with what we've seen from him leading two straight late game touchdown drives, he could lead this offense to victory. And already we're starting to lose some of this crowd. So let's get Pac-12 back underway. And with a win here, try to regain some of our own home support with a big win over a rival not too far away. As our offense takes the field, Tiger Bachmeier, his job today, make things easy on Brown, as well as the running game. As we start with a handoff that goes nowhere. We've had very hit or miss play when it's come to the running game. 2nd and 10, we come out, still under center though, two receivers to the left-hand side, as Brown will just end up stepping up, sliding down with a gain of 9. Brown has some mobility, not as much as Daniels, but shows it there. 3rd and 1. It's Bartow powering through the star linebacker of Washington State. And he'll end up getting us a nice first down, staying in there as it's a slow developing toss. Bartow then hits the Jets and destroys the DB. He's going to need to go get a check for a concussion. Well, that's just a little bit of that power game that Stanford has been missing. It looked really good there. And this one will just end up being a check down. Dawkins, the freshman fullback, gets the catch there, picks up a little bit. Now rolling, going back out to him, but he threw it too far downfield. It's going to be a pick, trying to keep it, not a 6, dragging him down at the 11. Always hate to see when the right decision gets penalized. He tried to check it down, he just put it too far downfield, had to keep it in the flat. Sure, it might not have been much of a game, but it would have been better than a turnover. Defense, once again, we're relying a lot here on you. As they get a gain of 6 on first down, getting the ball down to the 5. Going to see a hurry-up offense here for Washington State as a bad angle from Parker, and it's a lead for Washington State. They capitalize off the turnover, rinse and repeat from too many of our games. So following what was looking like a hot start with that booming run, we are now once again down. Dawkins motioned out to the left-hand side here. Irvin, he'll take the stretch and will bounce it to the outside. Getting a block downfield is short. We'll pick up a gain of 14. Coming into this season, Coach Barrington talked a lot about the running game being first and foremost for us, but there's just been so many inconsistencies, as Irvin does pick up a nice gain there, that we just haven't seen it be first and foremost for us. Bartow checks back in here, 2nd and 2, as he takes the stretch, turns it into a little bit of a power, and he does pick up another first down for us at the 46. We're going to see a little bit of Holt at tight end 2 today. That position, another one that might see some rotation. As they get it out to him here, he will turn up another booming hit stick. Sure hope that that's not the only highlights we have today, but I do love to see him. 1st and 10 in the plus territory now. And under pressure, sack, loss of 7. Can't be giving those up. We had a receiver breaking open, just needed a little bit more time to develop it. Setting up the wide receiver screen here, Bachmeier bounces it and will pick up a good gain, leaving 4. Just needed a little bit more speed to find that first. Instead, we got to deal with this 3rd down. Rolling across and trying to find that soft spot. We do find Noah short. But just got to settle in here is Brown. He's played well in his opportunities this year. Stepping up in the pocket, will gain 3. He's definitely got to keep an eye on that rush. fresh legs, hasn't had to deal too much with that. Irvin breaks a tackle and will pick up 2. Well, that'll leave us still needing 5 as we reach the end of the first quarter. 7-0. Our Cardinals are driving at the 12, but again needing 5 to continue the drive. Letting the slant develop, and it's a drop. Short couldn't hold on to it. He had it almost into the end zone. Instead, Chicolo having to come out here. He finally hit his first field goal of his career last week, and he nails this one. Maybe not nails, but he squeaks it in. I think that is a learning lesson that Coach Barrington has had to learn this year. We've seen too many points left out on the field. He takes the field goal there. Makes it 7-3 as Washington State starts with a jet sweep, though finding a cutback lane, getting upended. Holds on to it for a gain of 9. And indeed we are going to see a hurry up from the Washington State Cougars. Whether they just go straight to their play or not, we will find out. Hand it off down the middle, picking up the first down. Our last game defense did not perform all too well. The first couple games of the season, they were lights out. As we get some pressure, they find the tunnel screen, and luckily, their receiver runs straight for the nearest defender. That should have honestly been a touchdown. They had all the space on the outside. They just didn't want it. Maybe that's why they are not doing all too well, at least in conference play this year. 2-0 outside. As they go back down the middle, they gain another 7. And with all this kind of misdirection that they're using, we really need our DTs and linebackers to come through. Someone grabbed an ankle, spun him around. Kind of saved us a little bit there. Brings up a 3rd and 2. They motion their tight end to the left-hand side. A pretty small tight end, might actually be a true receiver. And Ume gets the sack, the redshirt freshman. Hopefully knocks them out of field goal range. As the offense trots on out, indeed it does. Good punt, though. We start back at the 11. As Bartow will pick up 3. With this rotation we're seeing at the running back spot, harkening back to our week 0 game against Hawaii. We did see a good balance. Irvin, though, will lose 2. Again, that just goes back to the consistency this team has lacked. 3rd and 9, and it's a sack. Quick 3 and out. So perhaps a little battle of defense following a little bit of a hotter start from the offense. 1st and 10 for the Cougars. As we bring a blitz, they go back to that screen. It opens up again. He slips a tackle, slips another, and that last block seals the deal. Washington State goes up 14-3. We could really use one of those dominating drives Brown has had this year. Again, all to close out games, so going up against guys who have had a lot less stamina, and he rolls into the pressure. We just can't help ourselves from turnovers and losing yards. 2nd and 21 as they have Bachmeier in motion. Gonna set him up on the quick drag and tried to slip back under. He'll gain at least a few. That still leaves this Cardinal offense well behind the chains. Press coverage on the outside, safety help over the top. Though it does look like Brown is making a change at the line here. Bachmeier didn't quite get the step, but it doesn't matter. Pressure immediately. Another 3 and out. Now we took a look at the Washington State team last episode at the end, and they didn't have a very highly rated team. But we just can't handle anyone right now. Another big play, their tight end finding all the space. You've got to find a way to play some football around here. Inside 2 minutes, they're at the 26. Pass across the middle. They're going to go for another gain of about 9. Just playing too soft. Got to get in the face here of some of these offensive players. Though the drag just keeps working to perfection. Or at least for the Cougs it is. We tried that a couple times. Didn't pan out the same way. 1st and goal as we move inside a minute. Throw to the outside and a 3rd touchdown. Cougars go up 21-3. They have just as many touchdowns as we have points on the board. For the corner recruit we have visiting today, I'm sure this game not gonna help us out, with the likes of Oregon also going after him. We go with our own draw here. We find Bachmeier. We're just not making moves in open territory. And that might just kind of be coming down to the lack of athleticism maybe we have out on the field. Need a little bit of some juking and jiving as Irvin cuts right. We'll pick up the first down at least. Pause that time for at least a little bit as we try to set up our next play. Brown trying to set up that tight end screen. We do get a couple blockers out there. See that burst from Johnson as he will squeeze out another first down, though we're still not into plus territory yet. So hurrying it back up. We do have 2 timeouts remaining. Press coverage across the board. No safety help over the top as it's out for Borden. It's too far. He just never found that step to get by the corner. 23 seconds left. Ace formation here as we let things develop, and it should have been a pick. That pass just came up well short. Luckily for us, we catch a break. Hard count on 3rd down as they bring the blitz. And why not? Another sack on the day, knocking us well out of any sort of field goal range, and we've got to punt back and honestly probably just end the first half. That leaves us with so much to try to work on. Nothing went well that first half. The Cougs, though, they really put together a good first half. We've now kind of got a feel for their offense. We'll make adjustments, and we just need our offense desperately to come alive. And to make matters worse for us, it is the Cougs starting on offense first. As they go with a running game, they pick up a gain of 4. If we could start to make a few more plays up front, at least with our front 7, I'd be a little bit more happy. Though they keep just finding the smallest lanes and slipping the tackles. This second half starting off exactly where we left off. Cougs well in hand, now up by 4 scores. So we've got to find a way to get some points on offense, as we can't even get a wide receiver screen off. These passes have to get out before we even finish our last step on our drop back. Just go across the middle here. We get it to Bachmeier, was a little bit behind him. And honestly, we're probably just going to be running hurry up from here on out. We've got a 3rd down, 3rd and 4. Brown under center will end up handing this one off. Irvin down the gut. That's probably our biggest gain in quite a while. We'll end up moving us up around the 45. RPO then, as Irvin will pick up 3. Line ended up getting a pretty good push there. 2nd and 7. We go jet sweep and stop for a loss of 1. Looked like we had a good bit of space there. We just couldn't find it. Coming across, and what a good job from the linebacker. Just switched on that perfectly. And we are going for it here, 4th and 8. Hard count from Brown, no one jumps. Gonna go with a little bit of a play action roll, but he still can't get the ball off. Turnover on downs, back at the 37. For our first game back here in the Pac-12, it is not greeting us very kindly. Though that's our own fault, as Wright should have had the pick. Our highest rated player isn't even making the plays he should be. We're really in trouble. 2nd and 10 as they go back to the running game. Can't get the tackle immediately. Cooper eventually drags him down. This is a game we haven't even seen Tafiti make a play yet. Normally, he makes all the plays. Wright beat in coverage. They're back inside the red zone. If you ever wanted to watch a football clinic, well, so far this has been it. As they have all the time to throw, and it will be a touchdown. Finding the soft spot where there barely even was one. 35-3. About just as early as it started, it ends. Ashton Daniels coming in, so Elijah Brown's time behind center does not last very long. Daniels comes in. Oh, I'm assuming they're just trying to get a little bit of more speed at that spot. With all the pressure that we've been under at quarterback, it makes sense why Coach Barrington would want just a little bit more speed, as it's 2 straight check downs, and honestly, it's some of the 2 best plays we've had. A little bit of movement pre-snap from the receivers, get the ball out quick. That's apparently what this offense has to do. As Daniels rolls, going back again, check down. Irvin stopped a yard shy. But they do go hurry up for 2nd and 1. Again, slight motion on that right-hand side. Checking this one down, but all of the routes were check downs. They're all quick stops. They'll just continue running right at it. Hurry up after hurry up, motion after motion. Just got to get things moving here. And this just might need to be the offense moving forward. If we don't have enough time to run a normal passing play, then, well, we're going to just have to run it like this then. Going back to the draw, and, well, maybe they're adapting. Quick crash there. Ends up bringing up a 3rd and 4. Hard count from Daniels. No one jumps. Gonna have Borden again in motion. Get this one out to Dawkins at fullback. Slow turn, but he will pick up the first. All right, back to it. Daniels making a slight play call change. At least he knows the playbook. As he goes to run, he's got space and angles for the sideline. Out at the 17. Now can we finish the drive? That has been the problem. This time it is Bachmeier in motion. Daniels dropping back. He's got Holt and a touchdown. Daniels leads us. Finally, our first touchdown drive comes in the second half of the 3rd quarter. And a new starter here in Holt makes the play. All we need is for some of that to shift over to the defense. Start to make some plays on this side. That has also been a big problem. First 2 games of the year, defense looked really good. Last 2, not so much. Good pass breakup. Ramos sticky there on the man. Ends up working out well. 2nd and 10. That might be the first no gain play here for Washington State in quite a while. Do get a little bit of pass rush and it blows up the play. Looks like they were going for a wide receiver screen. We just had a good call to match it. 3rd and 10. We need one more stop here. And, well, a bad pass will do for us. Defense ends up forcing that punt and offense can come right back to it. 1st and 10. Play action roll. Get our tight end open is Johnson. A little bit of a spin there tacked on. With all the talk of our tight ends not being that athletic, looked like it there. 1st and 10 at the 44. Once again, a slight motion on that right-hand side. Get the ball back out. Dawkins will gain 3, and it's back to the hurry up. Just going to keep taking the quick plays as quickly as we can, and throwing out of the sack that time. I'd say pretty smart move there from Daniels. 3rd and 7. Hard count, no one jumps. And somehow he gets that by the defender. Should have been a pick. Instead, 1st down inside the 30. As they're going to get right back on to it. With about time for one more play left in the 3rd quarter. Daniels snaps it. Goes across the middle, and it is dropped, flag down. Not sure if this is going to be holding. A late hit. It is holding. But only one is far better than last week. It does send us into the 4th quarter on a negative note with a 1st and 20. We're going to start with a little motion on that right-hand side. They're going to send a little bit of some pressure. We're going to try to throw behind it, get Borden to the outside, and we will almost pick up all the lost yardage. A little bit of some hurry up off of it then. Definitely going to have to run as much hurry up as we can this final quarter. As again, we go back to Borden. He's got some green grass. Doesn't get the block from Bachmeier. We'll get out of bounds with it. We've at least started to build something here with Daniels in at quarterback. As he's rolling, he's got a receiver. Touchdown! The safety didn't get it. Bachmeier stole it from him. We'll tack on another touchdown here with Daniels. It was risky. We've got to take all the risk we can here late on. And it would appear that some of that risk is also coming with a 2-point try. To the outside, the zig was open. The pressure, though, denies it. And our defense get us a quick stop then. Are they going to go back to the running game? Well, they do go with a read option here. Force a fumble? Perhaps no. But we do limit it to just a gain of 2. 2nd and 8. They're going to send their tight end to the right-hand side. They got 2 receivers that way as well. Back to the read option, though. They hand this one off, and it's a pretty strong run there. We'll end up picking about half the yardage needed, leaving them 3rd and 4. Same look as they had prior. And they go back to the run down the middle, and we do finally get a quick stop. Defense with a 3 and out. Now, while the dink and dunk definitely has worked, and we're not going to fully get away from it, we could also use with some bigger plays downfield. Daniels, once again out there looking for the drag. He's going to find Bachmeier, who puts a nice spin on the corner. Will only end up gaining about an extra yard or so on it. Right back to it. Under center. Switching it to an ace formation. Again, Bachmeier in motion. Daniels dropping back. Back to Bachmeier. Going to get by midfield out at the 45. Really not doing anything crazy. But working out so far. Back to again, another little drag. Borden finds a little bit of some space, but Johnson breaks it up. A good note for anyone who's designing plays, don't have two receiving options run to the same area. 2nd and 10. Back to Bachmeier. We'll get the quick grab. And we do move inside 4.5 minutes left. 3rd and 3. As Irvin, he busts to the outside. There's a lot of running room down at the 25. Good run there. It's changing things up a little bit as well. Inside 4 minutes. As it looks like we have a new guy in, and it's Short. So not exactly a new guy. He just typically doesn't play outside receiver. Has to do so there as they go back to the hurry up. It's worked so far this drive, just sticking with 2 tight ends, 2 receivers. A little bit of a modern Stanford way, if you will. 1st and 10. Daniels, he's going to step up. He's got space to the outside, tried to find the juke. Ball pops out, but diving on it, it's a touchdown, Borden. The Cougar defense didn't realize the ball leaked out behind them. Hey, we'll take any touchdown we can get. But of course, we're also still going for 2 here. We just got to make sure we actually convert these with a little window. Bachmeier, you're not trying to do a backwards dunk. Hold on to the ball. With 3:24 left, we give it back to the Cougar offense, and there's a good tackle in the backfield. We're going to be bringing pressure. Got to try to force a bad play here from the Cougar offense, whether it's their quarterback, fumble, or they're also letting that play clock roll. So I'd imagine they are just going to be running. Well, they tried to go with a pass. We're going to call a timeout there. A little bit earlier than we were hoping for. But with a 3rd and 18, got to get off the field here. As we do get a little bit of some pass rush, they dump it off. And we'll call our 2nd timeout there. Calling these early, not leaving much for late. That just means we're going to have to move as quickly, as efficiently on offense as possible. We've already improved a little bit this half as we do get Johnson. Again, all these throws look iffy, but if they work, they work. Johnson gets us into plus territory. 2 receivers at the left-hand side. Gonna have a little roll here and look for the check down because we were under pressure. We find Holt and we find ourselves in a hurry up. And maybe having to change a little bit too much here. Receiver Bachmeier goes to the right-hand side. Well, we were trying to do hurry up, just couldn't find a good look, so we drop inside the 2-minute. Really got to move quickly here. We need 2 touchdowns to take a lead. Holt, look for the quick stop, get it after the tip. We might have to check his glasses, or if he doesn't have some, give some to him, because he dove the complete wrong way. It could have been a huge play, ends up not. Down the field, and it gets picked. It's been Daniel's kryptonite. He just can't keep the ball high enough on those deep throws. Now we really need a huge play here on the defensive side. We need to force a turnover. 1st down, that will just do it. And in fact, they would actually go on to add a complete garbage time touchdown to just wrap out the game. Awful showing all the way around. One of the bottom teams in the Pac-12 for the last handful of years, and they looked far and ahead. A step, maybe 3 in front of us. So I think it's got to be back to the drawing board here for this team. And in terms of what that means, I'm not exactly sure. We're going to have to do a deep dive on this roster to figure out who's going to make some plays, especially on the offensive side. Daniels has been nothing but a turnover bug waiting to happen. He's at least improved his completion percentage this year. Brown didn't look anything special out there. Rushing the ball, we've had some good success here and there. We've just had some games where the offensive line just refuses to do anything. And honestly, I think the offensive line is a big part of what's holding us back. We can't have any developing plays to try to get our receivers open because the route running is not great. So we're not getting open off of anything spectacular. Motion drags, that kind of worked out a little bit, so I think that has to be inputted for us. Because right now, the only receiver doing much of anything is Tiger Bachmeier, and that's mostly been on those little drags, those little dink and dunk. So we're going to try to focus on that. Short has done mostly well with a similar style of play. So I think we have to focus on Bachmeier and Short, and maybe Borden will end up carving in a role or one of the tight ends. But I think we've got to try to figure out this running game and perhaps taking that red shirt off of Chad Lloyd running a little bit of an option style offense, especially with his speed, might just be enough to try to open things up here for us. And the defense, we really could use with them getting back to how they started this year. A lot of pressure. We saw a lot from Tafiti and Cooper, even a little bit from Ume. Keanu got a little bit involved. We had a lot of sacks early in the season. We haven't had a sack really, or at least multiple sacks in the last 2 games. Haven't really forced turnovers the last 2 games. If we get back to that, we'll be all right. But it's not gonna be easy, as our next game is a rivalry matchup renewed as Miller Moss and USC come to town. He's already at about 2,000 passing yards, 19 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. His completion percentage at a 69. I mean, it's good, but it's not great. Running the ball wise, all their running backs are doing well with their carries. So we've really got to be ready to go. 6 touchdowns for Kyron Hudson leads them. 5 here for Zachariah Branch. It's going to be a tough game. We've got to bring our A game. And as for recruiting, well, that week really did not help us out at all. Lamont East is about to verbally commit to Oregon after seeing how we played in that last one against Washington State. Again, he knows. He's from this general area. He's seen Pac-12 ball. Washington State hasn't been great, and we looked far worse than them. On top of that, we also ended up losing out on one of our recruits in Kramer. It was a 3-star, so I'm not too hard pressed about it. We are still in the lead for the 4-star. But if we don't start winning games, these recruits, these 4-stars, are going to start moving away from us. So make sure you stick around to see what kind of new style of offense we can come up with next time. Who's playing, who's not. Do we stick with the same kind of receivers? Honestly, do we even pull the red shirt off of John Yazzie? He has the release. Maybe he could provide a little spark here for the offense, because we just need someone to provide that spark. Draft is definitely not. Offensive line, we might be shaking up a little bit as well. Green has been a disappointment for sure. We brought in an 89 transfer tackle and he just hasn't performed well. None of the offensive line has. So we're going to shake up that group. Maybe see a little bit of shake up on the defense too. I mean, we know the talent that they have. The young guys are performing well. They just need to develop. So we might leave that side be. But next time, indeed, will be against the 5-1, 2-0 in conference USC Trojans. This might be, if I'm not mistaken, our last home game in a little while. We're about to go on a long road stretch, so we really could use with an upset win here. Trojans aren't ranked, but any win is huge.